Rock this joint.
Wow, that was quick. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we call home. It is the Aloha Hour. We're back. Where have we been, Edwin?
It's. I think it's been a busy couple of weeks for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been busy. You?
Yeah. I've been busy myself, getting moved into this new place, getting things sorted out, and been doing a lot of reading too. A lot of scripture, a lot of Greek philosophy. I've hit my head in Aristotle and Plato and Marcus Aurelius. Good stuff.
Yeah, I have not been able to check it out. I've been streaming entirely too much, man, friend.
Yeah, I see that. You've got, I saw you had the chill stream and you had cross examinations and you had the Merg and then you had the EVS with the all caps tonight. Yeah. You are a streaming machine.
The Merg? The what? What was the Merg one?
Oh, the Merg.
Oh, the Merg. I was also on the war campaign today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have anything left interesting to say? Or are you just a hollow husk of a man?
I am.
The only thing that's keeping you moving is the NATO and the MSG.
Oh, nasty. Don't even go there. So nasty. Yeah, I had fun on the war campaign today. Oddly enough, going on Ethan's stream was more vile. He starts getting into the bizarre cryptozoological "would you have sex with a mermaid" questions, and I'm like, am I here? Am I really here?
Alrighty. Well,
God, take me away.
I guess you can toss on your mitered hat like a priest of Dagon and just head on down to the altar of Baal and just engage in all kinds of pagan idolatry there.
Well, okay. The question was more along the lines of, if you had to, which half would you want to be human and which half would you want to be fish? And that's all we need to say about that.
Well, when I was in the Army, we used to play this game called "What Would You Do for a Klondike Bar?" Do you remember that one? What would you do for a Klondike
bar?
Yeah, and that would get pretty horrific pretty fast.
Yeah, well, that's yeah.
But we were young and dumb and full of things and in our 20s, and so
full of beans. That boy is full of beans. Yeah. And here we are.
Oh, so you went on with the war campaign. That's great. A lot of people.
That was good.
A lot of people get upset with them sometimes. And what I always tell people is bear in mind a lot of it's performative, and like if you don't enjoy their performance, don't consume.
Don't watch them.
Yeah. And if it really, really bothers you, social media has got like all these kind of features. Like on YouTube, if you don't like somebody, I think you can meet them. Let me see. Like John Malin, what is he saying here? Yeah, I can block them.
Yeah.
Yep. On Twitter, you can do the same thing. So I mean, you got different options, but also there's like the normal human option. So say one of these guys says something that just flips your lid, and you surrender human agency, right? You surrender your ability not to have an opinion, not to react to it, right? You say, okay, they've just gone too far this time. I can't help it. And I'm so angry. And
they're making the werewolves gay.
They're making the werewolf, yeah. And the fish holes and all the various holes where stuff doesn't belong. Yeah. You can send them a DM and say, hey, something. And can we can we work this out? You know, like a normal human being.
Yes,
I know that's crazy. I know everybody thinks the default option is call out culture, right? Like, when are you going to tell Mike Miller what's up? When are you going to just BTFO him in public and call him out? And Miller, it's time for fisticuffs. And so, or you could send a polite note and say, hey, can we work this out like men?
Yeah.
But that's
it's like people want, if something starts online, they want to see it finished online. You know, it's like, you know, you don't have to be involved in every single transaction between human beings. I don't give over my entire life to my online trolls. Sorry, not yours.
No, and there's so many things. There's so many things that people could call out, right? Right. If you want to critique everything that's horrible, like I think 39,000 people died from traffic fatalities last year. I think more people died from opioid overdoses than traffic fatalities last year. These are things that we could call out. There was just a mass shooting at a hospital in Chicago today. This might be something worth calling out. We could investigate all sorts of political things and we could call them out. And you could spend your entire life calling things out and not being able to call out everything that needs to be called out. Or or you could live your life like a sane, functional human being who was desiring friendship and happiness and joy and some peace in this very short thing we call life.
Yeah, no, there's I used to pay so much attention to politics, but I mean, what can you do? You know,
if you're okay, all right. So during the last election, during the 2016 election, I convinced somewhere between 100 and 300 people to vote for Trump.
Oh, really?
But it was very time consuming, and I spoke with people gently and used as much persuasion as I can, or as I could at the time, right? I didn't argue with people who I was trying to persuade, but it took a lot of time, and I had to set my ego aside and then just trying to find people where they were at and find a point that they could engage with and try to present the different options that were available to them. If you're really interested in politics and you want to make a difference, then you should probably join your local party, right? Whichever side you're on. You should either, go down and join the GOP or join, the Democrats if that's what you're into, whatever, and engage at a fundamental level where you can affect policy, affect the candidates that will present themselves, raise money, phone bank, and stuff like that. If you think you're making much of a difference just bantering back and forth on stuff, for the most part, you're not, right? Yeah. Because it just causes entrenchment.
Although, I mean, we're speaking to 64 people live right here. So if we say things that to normal people make sense, and we're not being argumentative about it or just trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
It's called conversation. It's called dialogue. It's called just, people being normal human beings, not just people on a chessboard banging away at each other. Anyways, 63 viewers in here. Can you guys all like and share? More important than liking is sharing. If you can drop this in your Twitter or your Facebook or whatever social media you think could attract some eyeballs to the Aloha Hour, the fresh breath of YouTube.
Now we sound like NPR and everybody's going to tune us out.
Breathe in. Breathe out. In with the good. Out with
the breath he comes.
Out with the bad breath. So yeah, no. God, it's funny because it is all so incredibly important And gosh, I really wish everybody was informed and voted with their heads. I don't take anything away from people, having hearts and wanting to act in compassion and stuff, but you gotta use both. And using your head, think of things that work to help people rather than looking at a problem and trying to just slap a band-aid on it, right? That's kind of a heart. So, I mean, we all know the left, well, I don't know about the left. True liberal people leaning towards the left tend to make decisions with their hearts, with their emotions, and they get pressured into what they're convinced. It's like welfare, right? I see a hurting person, a starving person, whatever, and the band-aid is throw money at them, right? It's like that helps, and it does help at the moment, right? But the idea of actually creating an infrastructure, creating a situation, creating a world where that person can be employed and better themselves, make themselves feel better about their lives, which gives them joy, satisfaction, all of the human things that make life worth living. Because when you're just sucking off the government tit, your self-worth diminishes, and then
here's where conservatives miss it sometimes, and it's hard to see if you don't live in that setting. But having been a sergeant, in the United States Army, and therefore somewhat of a surrogate father, and having a lot of men employed with me who grew up in public housing. Sometimes as conservatives, we talk about things as about individuals and about what you can create for yourself. And what I will tell you is a lot of people have not been able to actualize a lot of these ideas. They've never gotten these ideas. And so we're kind of at a different place, because now in 2018, I think an equal number of children will be born this year to unmarried couples as will be born to married couples. Now there may be cohabitation and so forth, but what I'm trying to drive at here is in 18 years, the people who reach their majority, the people who will reach their majority, at least half of those people will not have the benefit of a traditional family structure and will not have been equipped with certain lessons, right? And even if you've only had a traditional family for, 8, 5, 10 years, you're still at such an advantage compared to people who haven't, and what you believe is possible and the lessons that you've learned. And conservatives tend to have a blind spot here. And marital rates are not going up. So this is likely to increase. And so it almost seems like that even though it's antithetical to conservatives, if you want conservatism or you want people who are individually capable, that at some point that we may have to invest in some civic infrastructure and give people a chance to absorb some of these lessons that they would not otherwise receive. Because all this talk about what you can do for yourself and all these other things, this is outside the scope of the imagination for some people. Right? Some of these lessons just don't get transmitted because the process is broken. And so you'll never convince these people to be conservatives if they're always behind the 8 ball. And you know this now. The world that you have left for your children is incredibly more complex than what you started in, right? And it does not take that many missteps to be in a position where you can no longer navigate the complexity of this new world, right? I mean, the difference of a couple of $1,000s in the bank in savings changes the way you operate your life, whether or not you're buying stuff as you go, or if you can save money, you know, if you're continually buying inferior things, scrambling through life. And life has gotten more complex. You know this, you see this. I mean, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. As
I don't know.
conservatives, if you want there to be more conservative.
Yeah, I just don't understand. God, you're painting an insurmountable problem, and I hate thinking that way. So what? I mean, do you have a solution in mind, or are you just pointing out a bigger problem than I can, that I could possibly, you know? Well, I mean, what you and I are going to figure out how to fix the world right here, right now. All right.
Well, if you look at the advantages, that come from coming from an intact family, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are powerful. These are powerful.
Yeah.
And so if we want to improve some of these things, then we may need to look at policies. We may need to look at policies that encourage intact families, right?
Yeah.
That present additional. So it may be a level of interaction with people that as normal conservatives that we're not used to, we're not comfortable with, things that you don't necessarily want to have the state involved in, but otherwise you're on an irreversible trend. And if everybody is entering adulthood with a certain amount of damage and not having learned certain lessons, then the person offering them free stuff will always be more compelling than somebody who says, yeah, right? It'll always be more compelling than some sort of nebulous freedom or liberty or left to your own devices and being able to keep more of what you can make because you're so far behind the 8 ball or you've never accumulated any wealth that you're offering somebody more of something they don't have. So the free stuff and the guarantees, the safety and the security is so very, very compelling.
Okay, right? And I understand the problem that you're painting, and I agree. But functionally, I mean, other than encouraging, I mean, you can encourage through taxation, but I mean, the moral slope we've been sliding down this country is not going to be halted by offering people goodies for staying married. Although it wouldn't hurt.
Why not?
It wouldn't hurt because so many people are so more invested in their you know, don't get married till I'm 40 lifestyles or whatever it is, right? Am I right? I mean, I know a lot of people like that.
Well, here's the deal. If you look at fertility rates now, particularly for college-educated women, fertility rates I think are about 1.6, 1.5. Okay, and so you're not replacing people with people. So a simple thing would be to do, say, have a baby, and we'll figure out your college for you. Have 2 babies, and we'll absolutely pay for your college. Right?
Married.
Why not? Yeah.
If you're married.
Yeah, why not? Have a baby bonus, right? Young woman, you make 2 people.
I'm all for that, man.
Pay for your college.
Yeah. I'm all for that. Anything we could do to encourage families, nuclear families, atomic families, then yeah, I'm for that. There's going to be an interim, though, like you said, this generation, and that would have to be taken care of more through some sort of a mentorship program, voluntary, paid mentorships. I don't know, paid mentorships. You know, I don't want to get into a place where we're doing the broken version of the foster system, but with big brothers, right? I want people with a heart to serve, with a heart to mentor young men and young women who don't have that kind of a structure, who don't understand that kind of the common sense that we've all we're taught that, you know, when you're not taught common sense, it's not common sense to you, right? And that's kind of where you end up, you know. I'm going to go back to sucking on the government teat, because that's what they've been feeding you in the trough of public education your whole life. Yay, nay?
Yeah. But if we keep doing what we're doing now,
yeah,
our young people don't even have the sense to replace themselves. So everybody understands that, right? That that for American citizens, we are now underneath replacement fertility levels. Our population pyramid is upside down. So, and particularly since we're all living longer, as you age, there won't even be enough healthcare workers to, I don't know, change your diaper or whatever has to be done when you're 85 years old. And you say, okay, no problem. We'll bring in people from Mexico. Well, wait a minute. Quality of life and education has gone up in Mexico. Their fertility rate in Mexico is now right at replacement level and falling. So the new people won't come from Mexico. And the same is happening throughout the world.
They will come from Guatemala.
Oh, Japan's even worse. I think Japan's like 1.4. Yeah.
I know. What the freaking heck, man? I know. Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at my mom's family tree. So my mom. I told you the story about my mom and her parents during World War II, right? When he came home and his wife, my grandmother, was pregnant with somebody else's baby, so he turned around and left. You remember that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So on one side of the family, my mom has two siblings. On the other side of my mom's family, she's got 4 siblings. So between the 6 siblings, and going down, they have 9 grandchildren. Right? Between the 6 siblings, they have 9 grandchildren. My mom has 8 grandchildren alone, all because of me, but mostly because of me. I mean, one of her sons didn't even have any kids, and then, okay, so she's got 7 because we lost my nephew, but you know, she had 8 grandchildren, and then 9 between 6 other siblings. That's not crazy.
Did your wife finish up school? Did she complete her degree?
No. Nope. What do you need a dance degree for if you're not going to teach? And she hates teaching. So.
I guess so.
Yeah. She just wants to dance. All she wants to do is dance. Did you see the video on Twitter?
I did not see the video on Twitter. What is the video on Twitter?
Me dancing with my wife.
Oh, yeah? Oh, well, let me take a look. Is it horrible?
Yes, it's terrible. I'm a horrible dancer.
I think here pretty soon we're gonna take some ballroom again.
Oh, yeah?
We did some rumba and we did some swing. Swing's a little bit too fast for me.
Swing's fun, but yeah, that's some fast-paced stuff. So I haven't danced swing in literally decades.
All right, I'm on Twitter. I'm looking for a video of you dancing.
Yeah, it's on my.
I see you unboxing stuff. Blah blah blah. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, share it because the people in the chat want to see it, and I'll just lock it on yours if you want.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Hang on a second. Let me restart it. Can I make it bigger?
Yeah, full screen.
Can't we make it? Oh, yeah, we sure can. All right, hang on a second. Let me pull that out. Let me make it bigger. Let me pause it. Nice hair, Miller. Freaking hippie.
That's my hair, man. I addressed that question today on cross-examinations.
Got it on me. Oh, wait. Go back to the Viller. Here we go.
Oh, no sound.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear the sound. Well, maybe if I do it like this.
People can go to the Twitter. It's Abacus Mike on Twitter.
I can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh,
you're probably telling me how stoked you are to be getting ready to draw Captain Geach in the fish stick force, and I think it's an excellent choice. Were you able to hear the little bit of music from my headphones?
Just a tiny little bit, but yeah. I mean, I was just telling people they can go to @Abacus Mike. If you don't know how to spell abacus, I'll do it here. It's on my Twitter feed, and actually, there's a second video if you. But it's like a response to somebody. So
let me see. You know what? We haven't done this in a little bit. I mean, we've done some stuff, but I haven't had a chance to say hello to some people.
Let us say hello. Wait, you need your giant magnifying glass so you can rumple it.
Jiminy Cricket, aloha to you. Always good to see you. Level 3, my man. Oh, model 316's in here. Let's see, Comic Book Bob. Doom, CMYK. All right. What is it? Cyan, magenta, yellow. What does the K stand for? Black. Okay. John Malin. Should we say hello to John Malin? Hello John Malin. Professor.
John, if you want to come in, let me know.
Oh, John Malin says, get a haircut, hippie. That could be either one of us.
Yeah, I think he's talking to
you. Chili Ping, Dale Stanford, Mortal number 5. So much better than Mortal 4. Going down the list.
This is my secret ingredient.
Lorenzo Sleestack. And let's see, GK version 1.0 says, why isn't Malin in the chat? I think he's
chilling in bed. Chilling, mind you, which must mean he's cold.
I was going to say he's intimidated by our hair.
But of course. Optimus Deadpool says, apparently I can do dead-on impressions of Edwin.
Oh, interesting. Is he talking about you or talking about Optimus Deadpool?
Optimus Deadpool.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Do you have like a recording somewhere? I would love to hear that. The luxurious hair.
Yeah, and Dirty Doug is in Fiji, dirtying up the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. Let's see.
He's swimming in the ocean. Oh, a bunch of little fish are eating all of the dead skin on his fingers.
Mana Ray of Hope 23 says, Edwin, you clean shaven is pure weapons grade nightmare fuel. Wow. Sorry about that, buddy.
Dale Stafford asks, wow, Mike, that was really good. Anyone else in the family dance? My son dances. He's been taking lessons for what, 2 months? 2 months. He's learning the tango.
Evil E or?
Yeah.
Bust out some tango there, little homie.
I got my headphones on. He's not going to hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I like having the beard better too. It's just work demands that I wear the bear. Or I shave the beard here.
Don't they realize that by wearing that over your beard becomes the filter?
Well, okay. All right. So some of the asbestos particles that can cause cancer, right?
Mesothelioma.
Well, we don't. All right. So mesothelioma comes from a specific type of asbestos.
Oh, really?
And we don't have to mess with that too much. It's uncommon here. But what I was going to say is some of those particles, some of those asbestos particles are only 3 microns across. A human beard hair is somewhere between 75 and 125 microns across. And so even though it might seem like you have a good seal and a hair is a very small thing, the beard hair or the human hair is what is it, 40 to 50 times larger than the particle that might fit between them.
So you're saying that Edwin hair is not special enough?
No, and I've got a beard like steel wool too. I've got yeah.
I understand, Edwin. I understand.
How is Six Gun Samurai doing?
Let me look. Oh, wait, what the heck? I didn't close it. Oh, here it is. We are at, and let me refresh it, 15,378 by 159 backers. Taking forever to reload, so I don't know if we've done any better. Actually, it's probably faster just do it on my phone. Seriously,
you sold quite a few of those hardbacks there. Let's see. I'm trying to
discern. 10 last I checked.
Trying to discern what is the most popular package.
Yeah, still 15,378.
Ooh, all 3 graphic novels, 61.
Yeah,
that's your total right there.
That is the big.
Okay, but as a function of money, your biggest total is the early bird special.
Yep, 39 out of 150. And you know what? I haven't even sent out an email blast. I was trying to do that today, but I just got caught up. I keep getting caught up in things. I have this giant to-do list, and my life. Well, it's interesting. Those who have purchased a single graphic novel, not part of a deal, 5 Six Gun Samurai, 3 Meg, 1 Deal with the Devil. So Six Gun Samurai, the winner of the standalone purchase.
Well, now I keep saying this. If you can only afford one, if you only can afford one, in my humble opinion, you should go for Six Gun Samurai. The Meg's cool. Deal with the Devil. I'm warming up with Deal with the Devil. We actually read through that whole first issue the other night, and that was good. There's just something about Six Gun Samurai I just really, really, really enjoy.
Yeah, here, let me get to Six Guns so those people can enjoy. There we are.
Optimus Deadpool said he did a video. Let me listen to this and see how his Edwin impersonation is. I am busting with anticipation. Waiting, anticipating. He did a Vocaroo. Let's see. It's not too bad. It's
better than mine. So I've got it locked on my screen just to show the Six Gun Samurai since you were singing its praises.
Let's see. This is, which issue is this?
5, I believe.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to show, instead of like early pages, it's like the thing's done. So I want to make sure people see like later pages in the book.
Did anybody ever offer you anything for this, like to option it or anything?
It did have interest from one production company, but that never went anywhere. Gosh, was it just one? It might have been 2. One for sure. but it never went anywhere. The Deal with the Devil one got much farther along, much faster, and then
because this would convert readily to a pretty cool anime.
Yeah, as an anime, it would be dope. The thing is that westerns just don't sell.
Mm.
So yeah, as an anime, I think it would do much better than as a. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see this live action, but westerns just, man, the market for westerns is terrible. So I think that's why. Whereas, you know, Deal with the Devil, if you read the story, you can tell right away it's not a big budget story.
Right.
You can do it, you know, spend most of your money just getting great talent on it. And then the scenes, the scenery and whatnot, it's all very just real world stuff. You just find locations and shoot. You don't have to, you know, create a bunch of, except for the fact that he loses his leg. Spoilers. You know, that would probably be the only CG you'd have to deal with unless you're doing impractical effects for like explosions and stuff. Oh wait. Oh, I'm thinking about the actual screenplay. So in the screenplay, there's an explosion. The screenplay is a bit different from the book story, so there's a little more, you know, dramatic action stuff, whereas mine is a little more psychological thriller. But you know, Hollywood, they do these things. So then back up to the Meg, which once again Ethan gave me no end of grief for.
Really? How come?
Because I continued to work on this book without getting paid, and then it got me into that financial strait, which you know, it took Lone Star to unbury me from. And he keeps going about how these guys ripped me off, and I'm like, they didn't rip me off. It was just an untenable situation that I tried to make the best out of. And now doing this Indiegogo with it under my control is me once again trying to make the best out of this situation. And it being under my control, I feel better about it because I'm a control freak.
That's where I get it.
Yes, that's where you get
so,
it from.
All right. At what point in the process did you realize you were not going to be paid?
Well, I continued to think until I told them that I wanted to do it on my own, that at some point I would be paid, because I know these guys and I know that we've had situations like this before, and I always get paid. It's
right.
just, it depends on what the situation is, because you know, these guys worked with George Martin, they worked with Robert what's his name, Robert Jordan, freaking,
I don't want you to undermine a relationship with anybody or say anything that would offend anybody, and it's
yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying that I would have still continued to believe that at some point I would get paid for this, and I would just be like, well, that'll be bonus money when I get it, because I'm already through that situation. And so taking it on to myself to get myself paid through the Indiegogo, hopefully it does well, and I will get paid far more through the Indiegogo than I would have waiting for them to publish it regularly. You know, because yeah, me getting my page rate and then me getting, you know, my royalties. If the Indiegogo does well, I'll get way more than I ever would have doing it the normal way. And then when they publish it through Diamond and through the bookstores, I'll still get my royalties. Right. So,
well, what was the opportunity cost for taking on the Meg? Did you turn down something else you could have worked on?
I didn't. I wasn't shopping for other stuff because I was so. This was on such a crazy tight deadline,
right?
And that's why I took it on, because I didn't trust to get anybody else on there to get it done before the movie came out. It's just one of those situations where the project had gotten pushed in trying to decide, you know, who we could get on the book and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, like I said, I'm a control freak, so I don't trust other artists, and I don't trust studios to produce on a deadline because I know artists. and I know studios. We've worked with studios before, and what they do is they bait and switch you. They're like, oh, you like this artist, we'll get you this artist, and then you're like, oh yeah, we can do this all in 3 months or 4 months, and then, you know, you're like a month into it and they start turning in pages from some other backup artist they have in the studio, and at that point you're screwed because you can't do anything else because you're already on this deadline. And so you can't be like, oh, well, let's pull it from them and give it to another person because you're already up against a deadline. So I'm the only person I trusted to get it done. And so I got it done. I got paid in advance for the first third of the book.
Contracting for other people, can you even really make as much money as you need to make these days? How many commercial pages of art can you crank out in a year? 240?
No, I mean, you know, Lone Star level stuff is taking me longer than anything else I've done because it's my baby, right? But when I'm working for DC, I'm like, you know, page a day, at least a page a day. So I would get a page, sometimes a page and a half a day done. So, you know, 65 days minus 30 days for, you know, 300. I can do.
There's a different rate for people who just draw as opposed to people who draw and ink, right?
Yeah, penciling and inking are two separate rates.
And does that even make sense in the digital age now, where almost everybody is working digitally or partially digitally?
Depends on the artist.
All right. How hard is it to get $500 a page these days?
You have to be pretty top tier to get $500 a page.
Okay. And then what is the length of a standard comic book?
At DC, it's like 20 pages now.
20 pages. So at the very top end of the scale, you're looking at $10,000 a month. If you can draw
pencil and ink. I wasn't making that much at DC.
For Injustice?
Yeah, on Injustice, no. My DC rate, dude, freaking comics pay crap unless you're on contract. Ethan was on contract. You know, but I was never on exclusive contract, so my rate was relatively high for non-contract. I don't know if I was top of the line or anything, but man, my rates haven't gone up since like the year 2000 from DC. It went up $20 since 2000.
And then I don't have a sense or proportion for what royalty rates are like from DC. Do you get like a nickel or a dime every time when a comic book is sold?
I don't want to do that. Let's stop screen sharing. Let me grab a royalty statement and I'll just read some numbers.
I mean, so all right. So if you're getting, say, and just to put it in perspective, say you're getting $400 a page, right? And maybe that's inflated, but I don't want to nail you down to anything. So you're looking at $8,000 a month, which paying a mortgage in the San Diego area, and then how many kids do you have? How many freaking kids do you have? 5?
Yeah.
Purchasing probably your own health insurance, or did DC offer some sort of?
Nope, you have to be on a contract to get health insurance.
Okay, so all right, so you were operating as self-employed.
Yep.
Okay, so that means you were paying self-employment tax. Here's the interesting thing with self-employment tax. It kind of sucks unless you're making more than $120,000 a year. Because if you're making less than $120,000 a year, you pay 13.5% on every single dollar you earn, right? So right off the top, am I right? Am I remembering that right? Self-employment tax is 13.5%?
I'm not even sure, man. I let my accountant handle that crap.
Right. And I understand you get certain deductions, but that what sounds like a bunch of money when you're self-employed quickly becomes actually a very little amount of money. You're probably lucky if you retain after everything you had to spend, you probably get 60% of that. And you're paying whatever taxes you're paying in California. What's your sales tax there where you live?
8.25, I think, unless they've raised it.
Wow.
Yeah. Darn, why am I having such a hard time finding the actual royalties? Oh, here we go. PDF. All right, so Adventures of Superman sold 1 unit, 5 cents was my royalty. Different Adventures of Superman sold 3 units, 27 cents was my royalty. It must depend on the number of pages. So like these 2 other units sold 3 each, 21 cents, so 7 cents a page, or 7 cents per unit. This one's 8 cents per unit. This one, 7 cents per unit. This one is 5 divided by 32, so 6.125 cents a unit, something like that.
Wow.
So 5 to 8 cents a unit, depending on what it is, unless you're doing trade paperbacks. Let me see.
So really, you almost have to be selling. You almost have to be your existing work almost has to sell almost like 5,000 units before you're really even receiving any substantial money in royalties or residuals.
Well, this is weird. Oh, that must have been a reprint cost. Reprint rights. So inks and pencils. Universe Online Legends. That's 3 cents a unit, 2 cents a unit, 1 cent a unit. So yeah, this would depend on also how many pages obviously were inked. So if I only did a portion of a book, then I only get that portion of the thing. But yeah, if so, for inks on say Injustice Gods Among Us Year 3 Volume 1, on the inks I did on that, with 1,292 copies, I got $66.43. The pencils for the same book I got $131.63. So it's not a lot, but you add it all up together, it's a decent check. It's not
right.
One good royalty check, could float me for a month. Although the further away I get from the active publication of the books, the smaller the royalty checks get.
Right. Just because those titles get purchased less. Yeah, and then you denied yourself a standard income stream because you never sell your original art.
True.
And it may be.
Well, not never. I'm not going to say never.
It may be that 10 years from now, that Injustice original art would be in very high demand, maybe. For some of the stuff, though, for some of the pieces, just depending on the particular popularity of the book, some of it may be less in demand than it was right when the book was actually in publication and so forth.
I know. I'm aware. I have thought about it.
And so that leaves you commissions, and that leaves you conventions.
John Malin says, Mike, like most Californians, is broke. We get it, Edwin. Yeah, that left me conventions, and conventions were, you know, a huge chunk of my income. So, but I don't want to do those anymore. I'd rather be able to afford just doing Indiegogos than doing conventions.
And two, you've got weirdos who at any given moment may be able to interfere with your ability to do business at conventions, right? Your income stream is now hostage to all these activist weirdos.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and just gotta get your process down for these Indiegogos. Yeah, I figure it's so new for everybody, right? Unless you're Brian Polito and a couple of other people, this stuff is all brand new. Because when did well, we can ask Malin, he's in the chat. When did the Indiegogo for Jawbreakers launch?
It was June, wasn't it? Or was it May? May or June?
I feel like it was May, but I don't want to swear to it.
Yeah.
I think everybody will figure it out. But I think if you could do April, okay, Malin says April.
April? Really?
Yeah. I still think you need to figure out a way to have a Lone Star vignette in this current offering is a stretch goal. I think that would be an amazing thing. And I think it should be I think it should be as simple as you can make it. I think it should be black and white. I think people love it. Love it. Press 1. Press 1 in chat if you would love a Lone Star vignette included as a stretch goal for the Meg. Press 1. Maybe like a 10-page story, black and white, nothing fancy, just some nice line art and a good story.
Well, I wouldn't put it in the Meg. I might put it in SIXGUN or Deal with the Devil, or both of those. Or I could do part of it in SIXGUN, part of it in Deal with the Devil.
I'm seeing some ones there, homie.
Lone Star Ashcat.
Oh, testosterone overload is seeing Godsword. Yeah, not a bad idea also.
Yeah. If I got to count on Paolo for that, then I have to wait on his timeline.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, just being a vignette, black and white, some simple line art, nothing crazy. There's nothing like it. Where else can you get something like that from a professional artist deliberately done in that particular style? You can't. Yeah. You can't. So it becomes kind of a cool collectible in its own sense and a cool experience. Sometimes y'all overthink stuff.
I always do. I overthink everything. One in SIXGUN.
Maybe a Lone Star chick track. That would be amazing. Oh, that would be amazing.
Give me the Lord's Blade in a comic.
You could do the Werewolf Scourge.
Yeah, I could have Lone Star busting in on a. I'm not going to go there. Malin, what have you done to me? You're corrupting me.
Oh, you could have Lone Star. You could have Lone Star rebuking a werewolf and chopping off his head, and then saving the poor defenseless person who was thinking that the lives of the werewolves was for them. Make one of the werewolves look like John Malin. Oh, that would be amazing. So it's a Lone Star chick track where he's taking out some werewolves. Oh, that'd be so
Nail it.
good.
Yes.
I'm taking the bus tomorrow.
No.
What?
Because you have to get your passport or you're not going to Japan.
Oh.
So that is tomorrow.
We can do that in the morning.
We'll talk later.
Oh, when is Tokyo Comic-Con?
What week is it? So it's the 19th. It's next week. We leave next Wednesday. She doesn't have her passport yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Will it come back that fast?
If we pay expedited freaking services on it, which is crazy expensive.
Wow.
Just keep putting it off, keep putting it off, keep putting it off. I get so busy. It's like she's at school, and now it's like she's on vacation, so it's the only time we can get her to go. It's just frustrating.
Well,
I know. That's why I bought insurance on her plane ticket. So if she doesn't get her passport in time, I'm gonna get a refund on her ticket.
does she speak any Japanese?
Skoshi. She's taking Japanese for school.
Oh, very good.
No, it's 2 weeks lead time for passports. Yeah, it's 2 weeks lead time for passports if you want to get them the normal way. You have to freaking pay extra money to get it expedited. Go to a U.S. consulate. Get those passports. I have my passport. I had to go to the Netherlands a couple years ago. So.
What were you doing in the Netherlands?
DutchCon. I was a guest at DutchCon, yeah. Yep.
Were you rocking out with your clogs out, or?
Oh, it was the worst, man. I was set to go there. Well, first of all, I wanted to go there. They were going to bring my wife out too, and so we were going to go to Europe, and then she I can't remember why, but she couldn't go. So I was like, oh, fine, then I'll just go a day early, and then I'll come back. And then I went to go a day early, and there was this I don't even know how it happened, but I ended up at the wrong freaking terminal waiting for my plane. And then I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, it seems like we should have been boarding by now. So I went and I asked the guy, I'm like, shouldn't we have been boarding by now? And he said, well, where are you trying to go? I'm like, Amsterdam? Or yeah, I think we were flying into Amsterdam. And he's like, oh, that's gate J19. I'm like, this is like Philadelphia airport, which is like huge, right? The other terminal was a quarter mile away. I had 10 minutes to get there, and the guy didn't bother calling them to tell them that I was running to the terminal. I had a 60-pound backpack on and 2 suitcases I'm dragging and trying to run across the airport. I was so exhausted. I was like, and I pull up to the other terminal like in a movie as the gangway thing is pulling off of the airplane, and there's like nobody there that I can like scream at to tell them to make it go back. So I'm like standing at the window 8 feet away from my airplane watching it like and that flight is only once every 24 hours. So that one day I could have had in Amsterdam, or not Amsterdam, but in the Netherlands, actually seeing the Netherlands, I got to stay in Philadelphia instead. And so basically my trip to DutchCon was airport, convention, hotel, convention, airport. I flew 12 hours for that.
Nice.
Hey, look. Edwin's showing up, Bud the Spud.
Looking at some Bud the Spud.
Yay!
Freedom! Whoever you are, I'm going to get you out of there. We're doing this Kool-Aid style. Oh yeah.
So
How's the navigation on this?
I
Is
just
it
reached 100 subscribers.
Oh yeah? Nice.
100 subs.
It's alive. Oh, it's a spooktacular. It's a spooktacular, Bud the Spud. What is it? It looks like a poor mangled carrot. It's a carrot steen.
Here.
Franken carrot. Is this autobiographical?
Hola.
What's going on?
I'm working on my 100 subscriber special right now for Bud the Spud.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like the whole strip is basically based on a fourth wall break, like literally, and and they're like adventuring through different other people's comics and stuff. Because there's this one other comic on Webtoons. It's called Adventures of a Single Piece of Bread, and it has a similar art style to mine. So, and also he was one of the first people to start like, I don't know, reading my strip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I do crossovers with him sometimes. And actually, I've done like one actual crossover where it was in the strip, but then but yeah, he reads my comic and I read his. So yeah.
You got a little bit more arty here. Bang bang. Bang.
Yeah. I was trying to go for more of a black and white kind of
a little
rendering.
spud nor.
Yeah.
It's not Sin City, it's Spud City.
Salsa?
I'm just cruising through, getting caught up on some Happy Halloween, Franken Spud.
I just threw it together really quickly because like I was throwing that together as we were going out the door, and I didn't have much time to read it.
One particular, okay, I see something that looks like an acorn, maybe an acorn.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I was trying to go for a werewolf look.
Yeah, so it's a werewolf acorn.
Yeah, but like it's kind of hard because he's a strawberry in the comic, but it's hard to make it look like a strawberry and not an acorn, and I didn't have enough time to finish it. So
with the strawberry mummy, is the fella in the front right? Is he a strawberry or a cherry?
Cherry tomato.
Cherry tomato. Okay, and then Frankenspud, and the fellow who has disguised himself as a bowling ball is a
coconut.
Is a coconut. Bud the Spud. Numbers. Well, that was a bad nightmare. Oof. Come on, mate. We're getting out of here. On the pea, man, the garden pea is there's a little fireball there.
Yeah. I was going to do another strip based on him, but I haven't really gotten around to it. And also I don't want to like, because I had this other webcomic that I started doing. It's called It's called AutoClick, and it's like a gaming comic. But I don't know, it's hard enough doing one strip, and like also creativity wise, it's but the Spud really sucks that out, all my creativity, and yeah, I don't know, I can't really do two at one time.
So how long does it take you to put Bud the Spud together from getting the idea to being able to upload it?
Well, in the beginning, it took like the colored strips, because back then I used to do like a 7-day strip format, like 6 days of just a normal strip, and then like a black and white, and then Sundays I would do a colored strip that's twice as long. And but those normal strips, the black and white ones, used to take like an hour or something, and the colored strips would take like an hour and a half. But now these ones take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Oh, so you've got your workflow down then.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now. Also have like I used to do the model for Bud and Tom. Each time I had to redraw it every single time, but now I have like a separate sheet where I like already constructed the models, and so all I have to do is like draw the faces and the arms and stuff.
Oh, okay, kind of like they put together South Park.
I guess, yeah. They do that for a lot of different shows, like cartoons now.
Is this mostly vector art?
I don't really know the definition of vector art. Is that just like on like?
A vector art would be like Adobe Illustrator.
Oh
So
yeah,
where-
yeah. I use Photoshop though to do my stuff. Yeah, I just Well, what for my strips, what I do is I take like a base sheet. I always have a certain size because you can't go over a certain resolution for your strips. And so, yeah, I just put all the models. I usually make the background first, but sometimes I always make the background first. Because then if I don't make the background first, then I just don't know where I'm putting in everything. And yeah.
They're cool little vignettes. It's a cool little thing, man. So you've got 100 subscribers. How long have you been going on that? When did you start this?
I think beginning of August. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the beginning of August. August 4th, I think.
And that's, what are you up to now? What was your last one? You got 80-some? 86?
Yeah. The last strip, they're not all like, it's not literally the 86th strip because I do announcements sometimes in between.
Oh,
like when I had to go to New York, I had to announce that I was going to be taking a break from it for a few days. And but my official count on strips is like about, I just finished number 77. Yeah,
okay, so minus the announcements. That's not bad though, man. Starting with August, you've been real consistent with it.
Yeah. Well, for a while, like at the beginning, I was doing them every single day, like one strip after another strip after another strip, and that got really exhausting. And so sometimes for a while, I had just complete burnout. Like I just cannot think of any new strips to do or like anything.
It's like your lettering's getting better.
Yeah. So what happened was in the beginning, I used to hand draw all my lettering, and but after a while, I was like, I could just make a font. That would be way easier to do, and I wouldn't have to go in every time, and it would look a lot more legible. And so I made my own font, and yeah.
Oh, how was that? I've never. And so like.
Wait.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. I've never even considered making a font before. So walk me through that.
So what you do is there's this one website, I can't remember. If you just like went online and said typed in make your own font, you would find it. But they give you like this PDF. You can't just fill it out where each letter would go with your own handwriting, and it's really easy. But doing it the first time, well, I mean, I only did it one time. Actually, no, I did it 2 times. Yeah, but you learn there's different spacing in between the letters and everything, right. And also like vertical spacing too. That matters a lot because if you have 2 letters that aren't vertically spaced, just about the right, or horizontally spaced, then like sometimes they can combine together or they can overlap and it looks really bad. And yeah.
So what are you doing the lettering in? What program do you do your lettering in?
I do it in Photoshop too.
All in Photoshop. Okay.
Yeah. Just the medium I got used to. I've never really tried anything else.
That's cool. And does Photoshop, does it allow you to like adjust like kerning and such?
What's that?
Kerning, does Photoshop allow you to adjust kerning in text fields?
I don't know what that is.
Kerning's just a fancy word. It means it adjusts the space in between letters.
Oh yeah. Free reign over that.
Oh, okay. That's cool. It's a good looking font, man. Well done.
Thank you. I only did it one time, so I feel like I could have improved on it more. Because sometimes, whenever I write my R's, they sometimes come out looking like V's, and that can like get confusing sometimes.
I see. Is the camera still locked on me? I tried to take it off of me. Is it not flipping back and forth between the two of us?
Yeah, they're saying it's not. There. Okay. Elijah, if you're reading the chat, the jackpot games are on sale on a website called Fanatical.
Yeah. So
oh yeah, that'd be great to do.
Make sure you take a look at Bud the Spud. Did you?
Yes, I would appreciate it.
Well, I was gonna let me link this. I don't think it's the. Yeah, I'll link the homepage. Hang on. Let me put this in the chat. Bud the Spud. So what is the cast of Bud the Spud now?
Currently, it started out with just Bud, but then it's grown to Tom the Tomato, Sarah and Sean the Strawberries, Crispin the Coconut. Why am I forgetting their names? And there's also Red and Jan. They're also potatoes. They're all, the rest of them are all side characters. The main characters are Tom the Tomato and Bud the Spud.
Cool. Yeah, we were looking at the Bud the Spud comic book. Hey Miller, I'm going to have to go here in a second. It's coming up on 9 o'clock for me, and
should I give it over to him?
As always, I'm up at 3:40 in the morning.
I'm usually up to 3:40 in the morning.
Oh, so I'm getting up when you're going to bed then.
Yeah.
Your dad probably didn't hear me because you probably have the headphones on.
Yeah, you didn't hear.
You gonna wrap it up?
Yeah, I've got to go here in a second, man. It's coming up on 9 o'clock here.
That's good with me, brother.
All right. Well, let me make sure to check out Bud the Spud. Please make sure to check out Merg. I think.
Gotta stop that, man.
Wrap it up. You better wrap it up.
Merg the Spurg.
Yes, Merg the Spurg. Oh, you should do an ash can with a slightly cognitively or developmentally disabled shark. That would be amazing.
You know what I was thinking I could do is like a small ashcan book of Bless This Mess strips.
Oh, that'd be cool. Bless This Mess was pretty good. That was how come you never came back to that, man? Was it just not
time, dude? Well, obviously it's not that lucrative when you're only syndicated in a handful of papers, only running once a week. If I was syndicated in 100 papers, man, I'd be doing that strip. You can, if you're syndicated and you're like in all like 100 of the major papers, dude, you're making a lot of money. But yeah, it's only in a few a few magazines and stuff in Europe. So yeah, tis what it is.
No, it's just, but it's a good cartoon strip. Yeah, it's a good cartoon strip.
I might do that as a stretch goal.
Victor the Ripper. Edwin always talking about work. You ain't supervisor here, Bubba. Victor the Ripper is ripping me up. I don't care. Make stuff. Make a lot of stuff.
No super chats tonight, huh? Oh.
Yeah, been a slow night. You probably burned them all up on caps. All caps.
Yeah. It's funny. I guess war campaign's not even super chattable yet, huh?
No, I don't think they're monetized.
Yeah, people are just typing in fake numbers. $100 in Monopoly money.
John Malin says, "No Malin, no super chats."
Oh, did he really? Where's?
Gotta.
Have I collected Bless This Mess in one book yet? No. And if I do, like an ash can, it's not going to be the whole thing. I've got over 200 strips. I'd do some maybe a couple select story arcs and some randoms, and put those in there and make a little ash can out of that. I don't want to explain it right now. So no, I want to. It's time to get off. Edwin, you got to go. I got to go. So
yeah. Well, man, it was fun to do this again. It feels like we all been fighting for time.
I know. It's been insane. But we'll get back on the horse.
Here's a Phoenix Lord Asherman to the rescue. Here's a super chat. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Phoenix. All right, take us out of here, Edwin.
Yeah. People look for every reason to be offended. People look for every reason to fight with somebody, to take offense, to give offense. None of this stuff frequently serves us, right? We're always reacting to somebody else's anger or trying to manage our own. Don't allow this to become the focus of your life, right? And I've been reading through different journals and different stories of people who have chosen to make gratitude a focus of their life. And it seems to be one of the factors that makes for a beautiful life, right? So rather than focusing on external things, rather than focusing on what you do not have, focus on the things that you can give thanks for. And feeling that gratitude and the appreciation. It is a life-changing choice. It is a life-changing choice to show gratitude, to express gratitude, and focus on the things that you can feel gratitude for. It was beautiful to see you all again tonight. I hope that I get to see you again very soon. Until then, please take very good care of yourself and the people around you. We love you very much. Aloha and good night.
God bless. Aloha. Good night. Lone Star Squadron. Dismissed.